There is one belief that when it changes for you, everything changes. In your life, your business, your relationships, wherever it is you're looking for transformation, growth, improvement, this belief as it shifts provides it. Now, I'll be real with you at the gate. It takes time to change this belief. It's not like you watch this video once and it's done. So I want to be real with you. You're going to work with this. You're going to take it into consciousness. You're going to take it into your life and work with it. Change it day by day, thought by thought. And if you do, you will notice incredible results. The key to the joy, freedom, liberation, prosperity, whatever it is you're looking for that you want to build or experience more of, the key to having that in your life is within you right now, which is phenomenal news. It means you don't need anyone or anything outside of you that you cannot control to change in order for you to have what you want. The only thing that has to shift is you, and it's already inside of you. We'll go over exactly what it is. And if you're diligent, courageous, self-compassionate, and stay with this, you will see remarkable changes. So you're here because you want something to change. You want more of something. You might want to let go of something. There's some aspect of life and business that you want to transform. And here's what often happens when we're in that position. We wait for something to change outside of ourselves so we can have that thing we want. Or we push and we try to change our results, which is usually exhausting and often fruitless. Let me know if you relate. Let me know if you have been in one or both of those places before. You want change and you're waiting for something outside of you to shift so you can get it. Or you're like, I'm gonna get it. And you go and you push and you push and you push. You're exhausted and very little changes. In fact, often nothing changes except your level of exhaustion. So what I want to share with you, what I'm about to say, is something you've probably heard many people say in a certain way many different times. So I want to encourage you, I want to invite you to hear this as if you've never heard it before. Take it in as if it is like a message directly from God to you in this moment, because it's exactly what you need to hear. Hear it fresh, let it in, and watch what happens. Nothing changes until you do. Nothing changes until you do. And when you change, everything changes. Which again is joyful news. It's incredible news. What we're saying here is the key to whatever you want, you have to look within to find it. And it takes courage to look at yourself in this way. It takes courage to look within and see what may not be serving you in the way you've been operating, the way you've been believing, and the way you've been living your life. There's a quote that's often attributed to Carl Jung, and it says, what you most want to find, you will find where you least want to look. And where is it that most people least want to look? Within themselves, within their own mind and their own heart. Because that means they have to change. They have to acknowledge what may not be working perfectly within them. Not that they're not perfect, whole, and complete. But we have to look within ourselves and see these programs we've received, innocently most of the time, that keep our results at a very specific ceiling. We have to look at the programs and go, is that true? Is that what I want to choose for myself? Is that how I want to operate in the world? Here's what often happens in this process. We want to make a change, and someone like me comes along, or maybe you just know this on your own intuitively, instinctively, that to make that change, to let go, to make the improvement, the transformation, something within you needs to shift. So we start to look within. We go, well, what could that be? Or maybe we know what it is and we start to examine it. And very quickly, one of a few things will happen, but they are all part of a similar defensive mechanism. We see the thing and we start to feel self-judgment about it. Start to feel shame, guilt. It feels too vulnerable, too uncomfortable to see that under the naked eye. These are things that we've been programmed to not really look at, to just accept about ourselves. So when we start to look, the defense mechanism kicks in, which, by the way, is here to help you. It's not trying to hurt any of us. It really thinks it's doing a great job. But it starts to go, don't look at that, because then it might change and some stuff might happen. So it will use shame. It will use guilt. It will use extraordinary vulnerability. It will just use emotional discomfort to get you to look and maybe not really see it, or to see it but not stay with it enough to make the change. Does that sound familiar? Have you ever had that happen where you know what has to change and you start to look, but you go down this emotional rabbit hole and then you get sidetracked? I certainly have. Probably every single one of my clients ever has that I can remember. So if you've ever watched any of my content, you've heard me talk about this before. This defense mechanism kicks in because our subconscious at a very deep level, it just understands its program as keeping us safe, keeping us alive. And if we are safe and alive in that moment, and you're certainly alive in the moment, whether you're safe, it's up for debate. But if it perceives everything is okay, there's no immediate physical threat, it goes, we're safe, we're good, we're fulfilling our function. And because of that, it is change averse. It doesn't want anything to change because then it doesn't know how to keep you safe. So it looks at change, even incredible positive change, as a potential threat. That's why this defense system kicks in. So looking at your old stories, looking at your limited beliefs, looking at these programs you've been taught to live by that have created your foundation, that have created the structure and the circumstances in your life. When you start to look at those things and just observe them, or maybe see them for the first time ever, things start to change because you start to change. And that part of you, the subconscious that wants to keep you safe, it sees that change as a threat. So all it wants to do is scare you off the scent, get you to stop looking, and it wields sometimes these very powerful emotions: shame, guilt. It will wield self-judgment. That's why it takes courage to look. We have to go, okay, part of me does not want to see this at all, and I want to tell myself how bad and how wrong I am for being this way and doing this, for never operating differently. And I'm going to look with compassion. I'm just going to look and see what I find. It takes courage to do that, because what you're doing is you're signing on the dotted line to actually change the rest of your life, which is phenomenal. So congratulations for doing it. So once again, the key to changing anything is to see what has to change in yourself to create the desired results. And you can put it another way. It's seeing where you are not aligned with the truth or with God or with spirit because of what you've been taught, and bringing your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, your vision, the way you see the world, into alignment with the truth. It's a very beautiful process, and it can be very triggering. So all we're really asked to do is wield this incredible tool of self-awareness, of our own vision without judgment, to look at ourselves and see what it is that would have to shift. And if we're willing to do that, everything changes. So we hold the keys right now to the kingdom that we want. It's in our consciousness. It's in our awareness. And it often feels terrifying to use that key, to look within, because it sets off this whole cascading emotional response. There's one belief that if you change that belief, everything changes. And here is that belief. It is safe to change. It is safe to change. Drink that in, breathe it in, let it go beyond your intellect. This is not an intellectual pursuit or process. This is cellular. This is bringing you back into the truth of who you are. It's safe to change. You are okay, and you're going to be okay. And yes, you're going to change, transform, improve some of the foundational aspects of how you've operated in the world. It's safe. And what if life were just to get better and better and better as a result of doing this? It brings you into alignment with your service, with your prosperity, with your joy, with your sense of freedom. I can go be, do, or have whatever it is I want to be, do, or have. That is beautiful. So I want to take you through a couple of steps, a couple of ways to look at this. They're very, very simple. And if you use them and you practice them, you will start to feel yourself change. You'll start to feel your perspective change. And as that happens, and you hold that, your results will start to change. So, number one, Think of a time when you were convinced you couldn't do something, and then you did. Don't force the memory. You don't come up with anything right now. It's okay. Write these down, use them later. But think of a time when you couldn't do something, or you believed that, and then you did. What this is showing you is you've actually already had the experience of changing your beliefs about who you are and what's possible for you. And nothing horrible happened. In fact, in this example, what we're looking at, something beautiful happened. You did something you were convinced you couldn't do. So you've already done this before. You already have some data to draw from. So live into that experience. Find a beautiful moment and really live back into it as if it's happening right now. Feel how safe you actually were through the whole experience. Feel how by allowing this to happen, you are allowing life with a capital L to serve you and serve through you at a higher level. Number 2, think of a time when you could not see a solution to a challenging or scary situation in your life, and then one appeared. Don't force it, just let one come to you. And again, if one doesn't come right now, it's okay, do this later, one will. You'll find it. This starts to show you that you are not alone. You are not solely responsible for your well-being. Do you have a role in it? For sure, but you're not solely responsible for it. Change can feel terrifying when or if we feel alone in the process. What's going to happen? It's all on me. Can I handle it? Can I create the outcome? What we're really looking at here are times when God or life or spirit or source guided you and took care of you. When you were in a situation where you could not see a way through, and then one showed up. So again, you are not alone, and that's what we are reminding the subconscious of. That's the perspective we want to choose to live from right now. So even when you go to change some fundamental parts of yourself that might feel shaky, might feel scary, might feel uncomfortable to change, you're not alone in that. Life, God is guiding you through that process and making sure you are okay as you unmoor from these old anchor points. Number 3, even when you're feeling some sort of way, some sort of heavy emotion, you can also access the part of you that's still at peace. And from there, you can parent the scared part of you. This is showing you that you have resilience, that even when things are scary, hard, challenging, you got this. Yes, you have God's support. Yes, you have the support of life moving to and through you. And have you ever had the experience where you're going through something challenging, your mind is racing, you're feeling whatever strong or dense emotions you're feeling, and a part of you goes, oh, we're okay. You have access to both sides there all the time. For most of us, when we start to freak out about something, we're not even aware that we have this other conscious side that's still online. So practice that. When you're feeling scared, angry, frustrated, sad, I'm not telling you to ignore what you're feeling or suppress it, but you can also access the other side that sort of steps aside and goes, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? How can I help? It's this way of reparenting ourselves, you can call it, and taking care of that part of yourself that just needs love in that moment. So it shows you have this whole other part of you that's always online, this conscious mind, no matter what you're going through, that can guide you through challenging moments. Number 4, this one, if you can, please close your eyes, breathe, take a few minutes, go slow with this if you're able to. If you're not right now, you can pause here and go do it later. Well, you can listen through, but come back to it and do it later. Breathe and slow down and see if you can feel that presence with you right now. See if you can feel the presence of God with you right now. Breathe. You might sense it as an unfolding peace, a knowing that everything is okay. It might just manifest as a subtle warmth in your body. It's different for everybody. This is going to be very new for some of you. It's no problem. Just stick with it. So there is a power greater than you, beyond you, but that also lives through you, that is supporting you and guiding you every step of the way. Your safety comes from and through your connection with your source, with that power. So as you breathe, if you're still doing this and you're still with me here, You're accessing where your safety actually comes from. You're connected to an infinite source of power that we call God that is always guiding you, always protecting you, always supporting you. And though most of us, in this, I'm definitely included in this, weren't taught growing up how to connect with that consciously, it's actually so much simpler than we might make it out to be. You can just take a few breaths and it's there, because that presence is never anywhere other than all around you all the time. It's not something far away that you have to access. The point here with this step number 4 is that no matter what's going on, no matter what kind of introspection and self-honesty you're practicing to shift these things that may feel very uncomfortable to shift, you are so held throughout the process with a force that is not going to play with your emotional stories, is not going to go down a rabbit hole with you. It just loves you and is making sure you are okay in every moment. So it is okay to let go. It is safe to change. It is safe to see yourself clearly. If you have the courage to do this, to practice this, to stay with these steps over time, what you are going to realize is your life becomes better and better and better, because you are designed to thrive. You're designed to have an extraordinary experience in this life. And you hold the key to unlocking that experience, to opening the door to that experience, to receiving it, to letting it in, through your awareness, through being willing to be honest with yourself and look at yourself and go, is that a belief I want to continue to carry? Is that particular part of my self-image how I want to consciously choose to look at myself? Are these things true? And again, they may feel a little shaky as you examine them. Be courageous. Know that you're supported. Know that you're okay and you will be okay. Stay with this stuff. And as it changes, watch your life change around you.